नमः पार्वती पतये हर जय सद्गुरु भगवान जय सद्गुरु भगवान जय सद्गुरु भगवान जय जय सद्गुरु भगवान जय सद्गुरु भगवान मेरे गुरु महान जय सद्गुरु भगवान जय सद्गुरु भगवान मुक्तानंद महान जय सद्गुरु भगवान
जय सद्गुरु भगवान
मेरे गुरु महान
मेरे गुरु
मुक्तानंद महान
मुक्तानंद
जय सद्गुरु भगवान
जय सद्गुरु भगवान
मुक्तानंद महान जय सद्गुरु भगवान जय सद्गुरु भगवान
जय सद्गुरु भगवान
जय सद्गुरु भगवान
जय सद्गुरु भगवान
मुक्तानंद महान जय सद्गुरु भगवान
मुक्तानंद जय सद्गुरु
मुक्तानंद महान जय सद्गुरु भगवान
मुक्तानंद जय
ओम गुरु जय गुरु सच्चिदानंद गुरु ओम गुरु जय गुरु सच्चिदानंद सच्चिदानंद गुरु नित्यानंद सद्गुरु सच्चिदानंद गुरु मुक्तानंद सद्गुरु ओम गुरु जय गुरु सच्चिदानंद ओम गुरु जय गुरु सच्चिदानंद पार्वती पतये हर हर हर
स्वनन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाय शिशिरोर्भावे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय शाश्वते सहस्रकोटि युगधारिणे नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे नित्यानन्दाय गुरवे शिष्यसंसारहारिणे भक्तकार्येकदेहाय नमस्ते चित्सदात्मने। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु
सह वीर्यं करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
मा विद्विषावहै
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ नमो गुरुभ्यो गुरुपादुकाभ्यो नमः परेभ्यः परपादुकाभ्यः आचार्यसिद्धेश्वरपादुकाभ्यो नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यः। रहस्ययुक्ता श्रृङ्गारगूढा तमः विभूत्या ओङ्कारमर्म प्रतिपादिनेभ्यः नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यः। होत्राग्निहोत्रा गृहवेशहोत्री होमादिसर्वा प्रतिभासमानं यद्ब्रह्मतत्त्वोदभितारिणीभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां। आमादिसर्पः व्रजगारुडाभ्यां विवेकवैराग्यनिधिप्रदाभ्यां बोधप्रदाभ्यां
शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ अस्य श्री गुरुगीता स्तोत्र मंत्रस्य भगवान् सदाशिवऋषि नानाविधानि छन्दांसि श्री गुरु परमात्मा देवता अम्बिजं सशक्ति कोकिलकं श्री गुरु प्रसाद सिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः अथ ध्यानम् हंसाभ्यां परिवृत्तपत्रकमले दिव्ये जगत्कारणे दिव्यकेणमनेकदेहनिलये स्वच्छन्दमात्मेक्षया तद्योदं वदशाम्भवं तु चरणं दीपाङ्कुरग्राहिणं प्रत्यक्षाक्षरविग्रहं गुरुपदं भावेद्विभुं शाश्वतम्। सुत उवाच कैलासशिखरे रम्ये भक्तिसन्धाननायकम् प्रणम्य पार्वती भक्त्या शङ्करं प्रत्यक्षत। श्रीदेवी उवाच ॐ नमो देवदेवेश परात्पर जगद्गुरो सदाशिव महादेव गुरुदीक्षां प्रदेहि मे केन मार्गेण भो स्वामिन् देहि ब्रह्ममयो भवे त्वं कृपां कुरु मे स्वामिन्
नमामि चरणौ तव। ईश्वर उवाच
मम रूपासि देवे त्वं त्वत्प्रीत्यर्थं वदाम्यहम्
लोकोपकारकप्रश्नो न केनापि कृतः पुरा दुर्लभं त्रिषु लोकेषु तच्छृणुष्व वदाम्यहं गुरुं विना ब्रह्मणान्यत् सत्यं सत्यं वरानने
वेदशास्त्रपुराणानि इतिहासादिकानि च मन्त्रयन्त्रादिविद्याश्च स्मृतिरुच्चाटनादिकम् शैवशाक्तागमादीनि अन्यानि विविधानि च अपभ्रंशकराणिह जीवानां भ्रान्तचेतसां यज्ञव्रतं तपोदानं जपस्तीर्थं तथैव च गुरुतत्त्वमभिज्ञाय
मूढस्तु चरते जनः
गुरुर्बुद्ध्यात्मनो नान्यत् सत्यं सत्यं न संशयः तल्लाभार्थं प्रयत्नस्तु कर्तव्यो हि मनीषिभिः गूढविद्या जगन्माया देहे चाज्ञानसम्भवा उदयो यत्प्रकाशेन गुरुशब्देन कथ्यते सर्वपापविशुद्धात्मा श्रीगुरुपादसेवनात् देहि ब्रह्मा भवेद्यस्मात् त्वत्कृपार्थं वदामि ते गुरुपादाम्बुजं स्मृत्वा जलं शिरसि धारयेत् सर्वतीर्थावगाहस्य सम्प्राप्नोति फलं नरः शोषणं पापपङ्कस्य दीपनं ज्ञानतेजसां गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् संसारार्णवतारकम् अज्ञानमूलहरणं जन्मकर्मनिवारणं ज्ञानवैराग्यसिद्ध्यर्थं गुरुपादोदकं पिबेत् गुरुपादोदकं पीत्वा गुरोरुच्चिष्टभोजनं गुरुमूर्ते सदा ध्यानं गुरुमन्त्रं सदा जपेत् काशक्षेत्रतन्निवासो जानवीचरणोदकं गुरुविश्वेश्वरः साक्षात् तारकं ब्रह्मनिश्चितं गुरुपादोदकं यत्तु गया
व्यासो सोक्षयो वटः तीर्थराज प्रयागश्च
गुरुमूर्ते नमो नमः गुरुमूर्तिं स्मरे नित्यं गुरुनाम सदा जपेत्
गुरोराज्ञां प्रकुर्वीत गुरोरन्यं भावयेत् गुरुभक्तासितं ब्रह्म प्राप्यते तत्प्रसादतः गुरुर्ध्यानं सदा कुर्यात् कुलस्त्री स्वपतिर्यथा स्वाश्रमं च स्वजातिं च स्वकीर्ति पुष्टिवर्धनम् एतत् सर्वं परित्यज्य
गुरोरन्यं भावयेत्
अनन्या चिन्तयन्तो मां सुलभं परमं पदं तस्मात् सर्वप्रयत्नेन गुरोराराधनं कुरु त्रैलोक्ये सुटवक्तारो देवाद्यसुरपन्नगाः गुरोऽत्र स्थिता विद्या
गुरुभक्त्या तु लभ्यते
गुकारस्त्वन्धकारश्च
दुःखादस्तेज उच्यते
अज्ञानग्रासकं ब्रह्म गुरुरेव न संशयः गुकारः प्रथमो वर्णो मायादिगुणभासकः ऋकारो द्वितीयो ब्रह्म मायाभ्रान्तिर्विनाशनम् एवं गुरुपदं श्रेष्ठं देवानामपि दुर्लभम् आहुः गणश्चैव गन्धर्वैश्च प्रपूज्यते ध्रुवं तेषां च सर्वेषां नास्ति तत्त्वं गुरोपरम्
आसनं शयनं वस्त्रं
भूषणं वाहनादिकम् साधकेन प्रदातव्यं
गुरुसन्तोषकारकम्
गुरोराराधनं कार्यं स्वजीवित्वं निवेदयेत् कर्मणा मनसा वाचा
नित्यमाराधयेत् गुरुं दीर्घदण्डं नमस्कृत्य निर्लज्जो गुरुसन्निधौ
शरीरमिन्द्रियं प्राणान् सद्गुरुभ्यो निवेदयेत्
आत्मदाराधिकं सर्वं
सद्गुरुभ्यो निवेदयेत्
कृपेकीटा भस्मविष्टा दुर्गन्धिमलमूत्रकं श्लेष्मरक्तं त्वचा मांसं वञ्चयन्नावरान्नने
आरूढा पतन्तो नरकार्णवे येन चैवोद्धृता सर्वे तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः एकवेदगतामेव
संसारार्णवसेतवे
प्रभवे सर्वविद्यानां सम्भवे गुरवे नमः अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
पिता त्वं च
मे माता त्वं बन्धुस्त्वं च देवता संसारप्रतिबोधार्थं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः यत्सत्येन जगत्सत्यं यत्प्रकाशेन भाति यदानन्देन नन्दन्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
मुनिभिः पन्नगैर्वापि
सुरैर्वाशापितो यदि
कालमृत्युभयद्वापि
गुरुरक्षति पार्वती
अशक्ता हि
सुराभ्यश्च अशक्ता मुनयस्तथा गुरुशापेन ते शीघ्रं
क्षयं यान्ति न
संशया मन्त्रराजमिमं देवी गुरुरित्यक्षरद्वयम् स्मृतिवेदार्थवाक्येन गुरु साक्षात् परं पदम् श्रुते स्मृते अभिज्ञाय केवलं गुरुसेवका दीपो दीपान्तरं यथा
गुरुकृपाप्रसादेन
आत्मा रामं निवीक्षयेत्
अन्येन गुरुमार्गेण स्वात्मज्ञानं प्रवर्तते आब्रह्मस्तम्भपर्यन्तं परमात्मस्वरूपकं स्थावरं जङ्गमं चैव प्रणमामि वन्देऽहं सच्चिदानन्दं वेदातीतं सदा गुरुं नित्यं पूर्णं निराकारं निर्गुणं स्वात्मसंस्थितं परात्परत्तरं देयं
नित्यमानन्दकारकं हृदयाकाशमध्यस्थं शुद्धस्फटिकसंनिभं स्फटिकाप्रतिमारूपं दृश्यते दर्पणे यथा तथात्मनि चिदाकारम् आनन्दं सोऽहमित्युत अङ्गुष्ठमात्रपुरुषं
ध्यायतः चिन्मयं हृदि तत्र स्फुरति भावो यः
शृणोतं कथयाम्यहम् अगोचरं तथा गम्यं नामरूपाविवर्जितं
निःशब्दं तद्विजानीयात् स्वभावं ब्रह्म पार्वती यथा गन्धः स्वभावेन कर्पूरकुसुमादिषु शीतोष्णादि स्वभावेन तथा ब्रह्म च शाश्वतं स्वयं तथा विदो भूत्वा स्थातव्यं यत्र कुत्रचित्
एकब्रह्मजगत्रत्र ध्यानं तथा कृत्वा स्वयं ब्रह्मामयो भवेत् विदे पदे तथा रूपे मुक्तो सौनात्र संशयः श्रीपार्वत्युवाच पिण्डं किं नो महादेव पदं किं समुदारितं रूपातीतं च रूपं किम् एतदाख्याहि शङ्कर श्रीमहादेव उवाच पिण्डं कुण्डलिनी शक्ति
पदं हंसमुदारितं
रूपं
बिन्दुरिति गेयं रूपातीतं निरञ्जनं
पिण्डे
मुक्ता पदे मुक्ता रूपे मुक्ता वरानने रूपातीते तुये मुक्ता
ते मुक्ता नात्र संशयः
स्वयं सर्वमयो भूत्वा परं तत्त्वं विलोकये परात् परात् सर्वं नान्यत् सर्वमेतन्निरालयम्
स्वल्पं वा बहुलं तथा येषामेनैव भोक्तव्यं सा सन्तुष्टचेतसा सर्वज्ञापरिमित्याहुर्
देहि सर्वमयो बुधः सदानन्दः सदा शान्तो रमते यत्र कुत्रचित् यत्रैव तिष्ठते सोऽपि सदेश पुण्यभाजनम् मुक्तस्य लक्षणं देवे तवाग्रे कथितं मया
उपादेश तथा देवी गुरुमार्गेण मुक्तिदा
गुरुभक्ति सदा ज्ञानं सकलं तव
कीर्तितम् अनेन यद्भवेत् कार्यं तद्वदामि महामते लोकोपकारकं देवी
लौकिकं तु भावये लौकिकात् कर्मणो याति ज्ञानहीना भवार्णवम् ज्ञानी तु भावयेत् सर्वं कर्मनिष्कर्म यत्कृतम् इदं तु भक्तिभावेन पठते शृणुते यदि लिखित्वा तत्प्रदातव्यं तत्सर्वं सफलं भवेत् गुरुर्गीतात्मकं देवे स्वयमेव जपेत् सदा मन्त्रराजमिमं जपेत् अन्ये च विविधा मन्त्रा कलं नाहन्ति षोडशीम् अनन्तफलमाप्नोति गुरुगीता जपेन तु सर्वदुःखप्रशमनम् कालमृत्योभयहरं सर्वसङ्कटनाशनं यक्षराक्षसभूतानां चोरव्याघ्रभयापहं महाव्याधिहरं सर्वं विभूतिसिद्धिदं भवेत् अथवा मोहनं भस्यं स्वयमेव जपेत् सदा वस्त्रासने च दारिद्र्यं पाषाणे रोगसम्भवात् मेदिन्यां दुःखमाप्नोति काष्ठे भवति निष्फलम् कृष्णाजिने ज्ञानसिद्धिर्यच्छा श्रीव्याघ्रचर्मणि कुशासने ज्ञानसिद्धिः सर्वसिद्धिस्तु कम्बले कुशर्वा दुर्वया देवी आसने शुभ्रकम्बले उपावेश्य ततो देवी जपेदेकाग्रमानसा ध्येयं शुक्लं च शान्त्यर्थं वश्ये रक्तासनं प्रिये अभिचारे कृष्णवर्णं पीतवर्णं ददातु मे उत्तरे शान्तिकामस्तु वश्ये पूर्वमो जपेत् दक्षिणे मारणं प्रोक्तं पश्चिमे चारुणागमः मोहनं सर्वभूतानां वन्दमोक्षकरं भवेत् देवराज प्रियकरं सर्वलोकवशं भवेत् सर्वेषां संवनकरं गुणानां च विवर्धनं दुष्कर्मनाशनं चैव सुकर्मसिद्धिदं भवेत् असिद्धं साधयेत् कार्यं नवग्रहभयापहं दुःस्वप्ननाशनं चैव सुस्वप्नफलदायकं सर्वशान्तिकरं नित्यं तथा बन्धासु पुत्रदाम् अवैधव्यं करं स्त्रीणां सौभाग्यदायकं सदा आयुरारोग्यमैश्वर्यं पुत्रपौत्रप्रवर्धनम् अकामता श्रीविधवा विदं मोक्षं वाप्नुयात् अवैधव्यं सकामातु लभते चान्यजन्मनि सर्वदुःखभयनिर्घ्नं नाशे चापारकम् सर्वबाधापशमनं धर्मार्थकाममोक्षदम् यं यं चिन्तयते कामं तं तं प्राप्नोति निश्चितम् कामिकस्य कामधेनु कल्पना कल्पपादपः चिन्तामणिश्चिन्तितस्य सर्वमङ्गलकारकम् मोक्षहेतुर्जपे नित्यं मोक्षश्रियं वाप्नुयात् भोगकामो जपेद्यो वै तस्य कामः फलप्रदम् जपेत्तस्य सौरस्य गणपत्यस्य वैष्णवः शैवस्य सिद्धिदं देवी सत्यं सत्यं न संशयः अर्थकाम्य जपे स्थाने कथयामि वरानने सागरे वा तीरे अथवा हरिहरालये शक्तिदेवालये गोष्ठे सर्वदेवालये शुभे मठे च धात्रिमूले वा मठे वृन्दावने तथा पवित्रे निर्मले स्थाने नित्यानुष्ठानतोऽपि वा निर्वेदनेन मौनेन जपमेतं समाचरेत् श्मशाने भयभूमौ तु वट्टमूलान्तिके तथा सिद्ध्यन्ति धातरे मूले च्युतवृक्षस्य सन्निधौ गुरुपुत्रो वरं मूर्ख
तस्य सिद्ध्यन्ति नान्यथा शुभकर्माणि सर्वाणि दीक्षाव्रततपंसि च संसारमदनाशनं भवपाशनिवृत्तये गुरुगीतां वसिस्नानं तत्त्वज्ञा कुरुते सदा
स एव च गुरुः साक्षात् सदा सद्ब्रह्मवित्तमः
तस्य स्थानानि सर्वाणि दीक्षाणि न संशयः सर्वशुद्धः पवित्रोऽसौ स्वभावाद्यत्र तिष्ठति
तत्त्वदेव गणाः सर्वे क्षेत्रे पीठे वसन्ति आसनस्ताशयानो वा
गच्छन् तिष्ठन् वदन्नपि अश्वारूढो गजारूढः सुप्तो
जागृतोऽपि वा शुचिस्माश सदा ज्ञानी
मात्रेण पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते समुद्रे च यथा तोयं क्षीरे क्षीरं घृते घृतं भिन्ने कुम्भे यथाकाशस् तथात्मा परमात्मनि तदैव परमात्मानि लीयते ऐक्येन रमते ज्ञानी यत्र तत्र हिमांशम्
एवं विदो महामुक्तः
सर्वदा वर्तते बुधा
तस्य सर्वप्रयत्नेन भावभक्तिं करोति यः सर्वसन्देहरहितो मुक्तो भवति पार्वती भुक्तिमुक्तिद्वयं तस्य जिह्वाग्रे च सरस्वती अनेन प्राणिना सर्वे गुरुगीता जपेन तु
भुक्तिमुक्ति न संशया सत्यं सत्यं पुनः सत्यं धर्म्यं सांख्यं मयोदितं गुरुगीता समं नास्ति सत्यं सत्यं वदामि एको देव एकधर्म एकनिष्ठा परं तपः गुरुपरातरं नास्ति नास्ति तत्त्वं गुरुपरम् माता धन्या पिता धन्यो धन्यो वंशाकुलं तथा धन्या च वसुधा देवी
गुरुभक्ति सुदुर्लभा शरीरमिन्द्रियं प्राणा कर्ता स्वजन बान्धवा माता पिता कुलं देवी गुरुरेव न संशयः कल्पा जन्मना कोट्या जपा व्रता तपा क्रिया तत्सर्वं सफलं देवी सन्तोषमातृता विद्या तपो बलेनैव मन्दभाग्याश्च ये नराः गुरुसेवां न कुर्वन्ति सत्यं सत्यं वदामि देवर्षि पितृकिन्नराः सिद्धचारणयक्षाश्च अन्येऽपि मुनयोजनाः
भावः परं तीर्थम् अन्यतीर्थं निरर्थकं
सर्वतीर्थाश्रयो देवी पादाङ्गुष्ठं च वर्तते यज्ञेन जयमाप्नोति चानन्तफलमाप्नुयात् हीनकर्मजं सर्वं तानानि जपमीनासनं कुर्वन् हीनकर्मफलप्रदम्
गुरुगीता प्रयाणे वा संग्रामे रिपुसङ्कटे जपञ्जयमवाप्नोति मरणे मुक्तिदायकं सर्वत्र सर्वत्र गुरुपुत्रस्य सिद्ध्यति इदं रहस्यं नो वाच्यं तवाग्रे कथितं मया मम त्वं च प्रियाकृति स्वामिमुख्या गणेशादि विष्णुवादीनां च पार्वती अति सत्यं सत्यं
अतीव पक्वचित्ताय शुद्धा भक्तियुताय च प्रवक्तव्यमिदं देवी ममात्मासि सदा प्रिये अभक्ते वंचके धूर्ते पाखंडे नास्तिके नरे मनसा पीडवक्तव्या गुरुगीता कदाचन संसार सागर समुद्धरणैकमन्त्रं ब्रह्मादिदेव मुनिपूजितसेधमन्त्रं दारिद्र्यदुःखभवरोगविनाशमन्त्रं वन्दे महाभयहरं गुरुराजमन्त्रम्। इति श्रीस्कन्दपुराणे उत्तरखंडे ईश्वर पार्वती संवादे गुरुगीता समाप्त। श्री गुरुदेव चरणार्पणमस्तु। नित्यानंदाय गुरवे शिष्य संसारहारिणे भक्तकाले कदेहाय नमस्ते चित्तदात्मने निर्वासनं निराकांक्षं सर्वदोषविवर्जितं निरालम्बं निरातङ्कं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहं निर्मलं निरहंकारं समलोष्टात्मकाञ्चनं समदुःखसुखं वीरम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहम् परिनाशिनमात्मानम् एकं विज्ञाय तत्त्वतः वीतरागभयक्रोधं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहम् नाहं देहो न मे देहो जीवो नाहमहं इति नित्यभूतं नमाम्यहम् समस्तं कल्पनामात्रम् आत्मा मुक्ता सनातना इति विज्ञाय संतृप्तं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहं ज्ञानाग्निदग्धं कामसङ्कल्पवर्जितं अवधूतं नमाम्यहं स्वभावेनैव यो योगी सुखं भोगं न वाञ्छति यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहं नैव निन्दा प्रशंसाभ्यां यस्य विक्रियते मनः आत्मक्रीडां महात्मानम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहं नित्यं जाग्रदवस्थायां प्रज्ञायोगतिष्ठति निश्चिन्तं चिन्मयात्मानं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहं द्वेषं नास्ति प्रियं नास्ति नास्ति यस्याशुभाशुभं भेदज्ञानविहीनं तम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहं जडं पश्यति नो यस्तु जगत् पश्यति चिन्मयं नित्ययुक्तं गुणातीतं नित्यानन्दं नमाम्यहं यो हि दर्शनमात्रेण भवते भुवनत्रयं पावनं जङ्गमं तीर्थम् अवधूतं नमाम्यहं सर्वपूज्यं सदा पूर्णम् अखण्डानन्दविग्रहं स्वप्रकाशं चिदानन्दं नित्यानन्दं निष्कलं निष्क्रियं शान्तं निर्मलं परमामृतं गणेशं अवधूतं नमाम्यहं योगपूर्णं तपोमूर्तिं प्रेमपूर्णं सुदर्शनं ज्ञानपूर्णं कृपामूर्तिं दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्चेरवन्देभ्यो मोक्षाशान्यान् विमोचयेत् स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्य पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी। देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः। सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सर्वस्तरतु दुर्गाणि सर्वो भद्राणि पश्यतु। सर्वकामान् प्राप्नोतु सर्वत्र नन्दतु। स्वस्ति मातृका पितॄणाम् अस्तु।
स्वस्ति
भूयो जगते पुरुषेभ्यः विश्वां सुभूतां सुविधात्रां नोऽस्तु। युगे वदिष्ये मत्सूर्यम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
आरती करो सदा गुरु के करो सदा गुरु के प्यारे गुरुवर की आरती करो गुरुवर की। शाश्वतं शान्तं व्योमातीतं निरञ्जनं नादबिन्दु कलातीतं तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
पीतवर्णः स्यात् यजुर्वेदोक्षसूत्रधृक् वामे कुलिशपाणिस्तु भूतिदो मङ्गलप्रदः गणनाथ सरस्वती रविशुक्रबृहस्पतीन् पञ्चैतान् संस्मरन् नित्यम् वेदवाणीं प्रवर्तयेत् वेदः शिवः शिवो वेदो वेदाध्याये सदा शिवः तस्मात् सर्वप्रयत्नेन वेदमेव सदा पठेत् देवदेवोत्तमदेवते सार्वभौम अखिलाण्डकोटिब्रह्माण्डनायक ऋषिगणवन्द्य सच्चिदानन्दात्मन् यजुर्वेदप्रिय यजुर्वेदसेवाम् अवधारय। श्रीगणेशाय नमः। श्रीसरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीवेदपुरुषाय नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। गणानां त्वा गणपतिग्गं हवामहे प्रियाणां त्वा प्रियपतिग्गं हवामहे निधीनां त्वा निधिपतिग्गं हवामहे वसो मम अहमजा निगर्भधामा त्वमजा श्रीगर्भधामा गायत्री त्रिष्टुब्जगतिया नष्टपङ्क्त्या सह बृहत्युष्णेः ककुप्सूचिभिः शम्यन्तु त्वा द्विपदाजाश्चतुःपदास्त्रिपदाजाश्च खट्पदाः विच्छन्दाजाश्च सच्छन्दाः सूचिभिः शम्यन्तु त्वा सहस्तोमाः सह छन्दस आवृताः सह प्रमारिखायाः सप्तदेव्याः ऊर्वेखां पन्था मनोदृश्याधीरा अन्वा लेभिरे रथियो नारशमेन्न जज्जाग्रतो दूरमुदयति दैवन्तदो सप्तस्या तथैवैति दूराङ्गमञ्ज्योतिखाञ्ज्योतिरेकन्तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु येन कर्माण्यपसो मनीषिणो जज्ञे कृण्वन्ति वेदथे खुदीराः जदपूर्वं जक्षमन्तः प्रजानान्तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु प्रज्ञानमुतचेतो धृतिश्च जज्योतिरन्तरमृतं प्रजासु जसमानरिते किञ्चन कर्म क्रियते तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु जेनेदं भूतं भुवनं भवेख्यपरिगिरिः तममृतेन सर्वम् जेन यज्ञस्तायते सप्तहोता तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु जस्मिन् ऋचः सामजो गुङ्गे जस्मिन् प्रतिष्ठितारथन भाविवाराः जस्म्योश्चित्तगो सर्वमोतं प्रजानान्तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु सुखारतिरसवा निवजन्मानुकियान्ने नीयते भीषुभिर्वाजिन एव हृत्प्रतिष्ठन् जदजिरन् जविष्ठन् तन्मे मनः शिवसङ्कल्पमस्तु हरिः ॐ बिभ्राट् बृहत्पिबतु सौम्यं मध्वायुर्दधजन्यापाता वविरुतम् भातजूतो जो अभिरक्षतितमाना प्रजा पुपोखपुरुधा विराजति उदुतियञ्जातवेदसन्देवं वहन्ति केतवः दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम् जेनापवकचक्षसा भूरण्यन्तञ्जना अनु त्वं वरुण पश्यसि दैव्यावद्भर्जो आगतगो रथेन सूर्यतवाच मध्वा जदन्यग्ं समञ्जाते तं प्रत्नथा पूर्वथा विश्वथे मथा ज्येष्ठता तिम्बरेखादग्गुस्वर्वेदम् प्रतीचीनं बृजनन्दोहसे धूनिमाशुन् जयन्तमनुया सुवर्धसे अयं वेनश्चोदयत् कृष्णे गर्भाज्योतिर्जरायुरजसो भीमाने इममपागुसङ्गमे सूर्यस्य शेषुन्न विपरा मतिभिरिहन्ति चितरन्देवाना मोदगादनि कञ्चक्षुर्मितरस्या वरुणस्याग्नेः आप्राद्यावा पृथिवी अन्तरिक्षमन्तरिक्षं चक्षु सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्थूखश्च आन ईडाभिर्वेदाथे सुस्वस्तिभिर्विश्वानरः सविता देव एत अपि यथा जुवान मत्सथान विश्वं जगदभिपितवे मानीखा जादतिया कच्चा वृतराहन्नोदगा अभिसूर्ज सर्वन्तदिन्द्रते वशे ताराणिर्विश्वादारेशत ज्योतिःक्रीडसि सूर्ज विश्वमाभा शिरोचनम्मा तत्सूर्यस्य देवत्वन् तन्माहित्वं मधिया कर्तोर्वीततग्गुं संजभार जदेदयुक्तारिताः सधस्थादाद्रात्रिर्वा सस्तनुते सीमस्मै तन्मित्रस्य वरुणस्य भेचक्षे सूर्य रूपं गृह्णोते द्योरूपस्ते अनन्तमन्यदृषदस्य पाजाः कृष्णमन्यद्धारिताः संभरन्ति बण्महा आशिषु जबड़ा द्वितीया महा आसि महस्ते सत महिमापनस्यते धा देव महा आसि वक्षुर्जसरवसा महा आसि सतरा देव महा आसि मन्हा देवा नाम सूर्यः पुरोहितो बेभज्यो तेरदाभ्याम श्रायन्त इव सूर्यं विश्वेदिन्द्रस्य भक्षत वसूनि जाते जनमान ओजसा प्रतिभागन्नदि धीमा अधिया देवा उदिता सूर्यस्य निरग्गुं हसः पिप्रीता नीरावदियात् तन्नो मित्रो वरुणो मामहन्ता मदितिः सिन्धुः पृथिवी उतदियोः आकृष्णेन रजसा वर्तमानो निवेशयन्नमृतं मर्त्यं च हिरण्यायेन सविता रथेन देवो जाति भुवनानि पश्यन् त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पतिवेदनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनादितो मुक्षीयमामुतः जतो यतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु शं प्रजाभ्यो भयान्नाः पशुभ्यः ॐ शान्ति
शान्ति
शान्तिः सुशान्तिर्भवतु सर्वारिष्ट सर्वोपद्रव शान्तिरस्तु।
Sadhgurunad Maharaj Ki Jai. Good morning, everyone. Namaste, and welcome to Sunday morning Satsang here at Shanti Mandir with Gurudev and all of us together on Sunday morning. So, thank you, Acharya Navinji and Govind, for the recitation of the Vedic mantras. And as I always say, it's always a river of grace, a river of bestowal, of quieting our minds and allowing that auspiciousness to flow, to move through our beings, our mind, and settle our emotions, settle our thoughts. And we're very happy to have Acharya Navinji here in person. He is seated in Shanti Mandir, Kankal, in the Haridwar region up there in Uttarakhand. And he is here till today. He leaves this afternoon, him and Govind both, and they'll head to New Jersey for the next 1 week, 9 days, to perform the Ganesh Chaturthi down there in Woodbridge, New Jersey, the celebration of Lord Ganesha. So people come every day, all day, morning, noon, night, and offer their prayers and their offerings to Lord Ganesha. And Navinji has been doing this for a number of years, overseeing and conducting that festival down there. So thank you for your presence here, Navinji, from all of us at Shanti Mandir, Walden. So today, as part of our satsang, we have the finale of the course closing. And the first thing that I want to touch upon is Baba Muktananda. So for all of us who spend time in his company, the beauty of what he shared, what he taught, what he spoke of was the religion of the self. The religion of the self, that's what he called it. The religion of the self. So everything he said, everything he shared, everything he spoke about, everything he transmitted was to everyone, every culture, every language, young, middle, elderly, straight across the board. And it spoke to absolutely everyone. And when I think of this course, if I think back to the first time when I myself took the course, I think it was in South Fallsburg, the first course, the level 1, or I forget what we called it then, understanding this is about level 1, and then there was the advanced course. There was a beginner's course and the advanced course, that's what it was. Beginners and advanced. There was only 2, right, Lair? Yeah, so the beginning class, and that was in South Fallsburg. And of course, at that time, listening to all that was being shared and receiving all of that knowledge and going through the classes in the teacher's training room there and all of that, how much of that went in at that time, can't tell you. But it definitely began a process. And when we sit here and we hear all of the classes, we hear all of the sharings, we have all of the question and answers, and after having done this for so many years, but it's like it's always ever new. It's like we're always going deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like going into the closets and the rooms that are within this body and being able to have the time to actually see what's there. So it's kind of like a treasure's chest. It's a Pandora's box. You never know what you're going to find. But there's so many beautiful jewels, and especially the wisdom and the knowledge that is gifted. And there's just no way to convey the joy, the love, the gratitude, the deep appreciation, our good fortune to have met such a being, and then to have Gurudev continuing Baba's tradition with the simplicity, with the humility, with the intensity, with the power, the Shakti that it carries, and then to have these 4 teachers dedicated to making sure that the religion of the self keeps going, keeps flowing. And to me, I think of today kind of as a great celebration of the self. And what do I mean by that? Great celebration of the self. Maybe it's because everybody's been gathered for these 2 weeks, day after day, morning, afternoon, evening, and just enjoying all of that, but also feeling what that brings to the ashram, what it brings to each one of us individually, and knowing that everybody's hearing about the self, everybody's feeling the self, everybody's experiencing the self, everybody's talking about it, everybody's just enjoying whatever's unfolding every single moment. And again, when we talk about a course closing, and Larry can, of course, speak more to that, but we had the intensive yesterday. And Baba always said that the real test starts today, right? When we take it all and we go home, and it's like, what do we bring back with us? And that at this point, it's all about living the teachings, bringing them into our everyday, daily life, our everyday routine. So, and also about staying grounded. Just be real. Be grounded. We don't have to speak in a foreign language. Baba never spoke in a foreign language. He spoke to every single person. Every person understood it from the heart. Everybody understood it from their minds. It was words. It was a language that we could imbibe, that we could embrace. So keep it real. Keep it filled with just our everyday language. Love, joy, peace, grace, and just enjoy the process and keep living it every minute. It's a joyful day. These are happy tears. So also I want to take this opportunity to let all of you know that each year going forward, there'll be some combination, not quite sure exactly what that looks like yet, because it's still evolving and it's filled with spontaneity and flexibility and wonder. But there will be some combination each year of level 1, level 2, and level 3. So whether it's 2 a year or 1 a year or something else changes and shifts in the length of time, but it is something that is available to everyone. And I really want to encourage everyone to try to find that time to come to the ashram, stay for a week, stay for 2 weeks, stay for 3 weeks, whatever that particular course looks like, and immerse yourself in all that is here for all of us, and really take in as much as we can. As Bob said in one of the classes at the very beginning, it was a question of why are you here? And he goes, I don't know, maybe I have 5,000 more steps, meaning to this life. Who knows? We don't know wasn't it something like that, Bob? 5,000 steps or something? 3 to 5,000. 3 to 5,000 steps. We never know. So it's making the most of it and trying to gain as much understanding, experience, and become established in that experience. And last night, as all of you know, Gurudev went to the Sant Samagam, the gathering of the saints and the Swamis and the Sadhus down at Shiv Shakti Peeth down on Hillside Avenue in Long Island, Queens. And it's always just wonderful. First, you never know how that's going to evolve. But the underlying element there, or the richness of it, is when you look at the stage, and first there's maybe 2 or 3 of them sitting there. And then slowly, from 6 to 8 p.m., they all kind of trickle in and they all join in. And, there's a whole assembly up there of all of them seated there. And the joy of it is really that each of them, at their own pace, in their own lives, has been doing sadhana. So you know that when everybody speaks, there's something there to be received, something. How much, how evolved it is, all of that, it doesn't matter. But you know that when you sit there for those 2 hours, we are going to hear about knowledge. We are going to hear about the path. We're going to hear about devotion. We're going to hear about truth, and we're going to hear about the religion of the self. All of it points to that. So some goes in and some stays here, and it doesn't matter. But being there, just sitting in their company, it's always a fun and wonderful experience. And so tonight's going to be another one, and that'll also be down in Queens at the Hindu Center. So what we'll be doing now is we will be calling up each of the participants in the course, and they'll be collecting their certificates from Gurudev. And then following that, we'll be hearing from Gurudev. And then we'll be concluding with our Danya Danya, Arti Lijo, Joda Se Joda, Darshan, and then we'll have some lunch prasad. So again, just a very, very heartfelt gratitude to all of the teachers, to Nicheshwari for her translation, to all of the participants for being here. There wouldn't be a course if there weren't people who were interested. And just to acknowledge the devotion, the seeking, the learning, and the feeling that all of you brought together, and the unity that was created, the unity, the bond, and as everybody goes home, it's only so we can all come back together again. As Rumi always said, let's always come back together and drink from that tavern of elixir. So that's what we do here. We all come together, and then we separate for a little while, and then as in India, they always say, they never say goodbye. They just say, Fir milenge. They fold their hands and they say, Fir milenge. And it means until we meet again. So there's never a period, There's never an exclamation mark. It's just always a little comma. So that's the transition point that we're at today. So we'll call you up one by one, and then you can just come up and receive your certificate from Gurudev. So we'll start with Mark Hayes. So Mark is known to us from Synchronicity. He's currently the president of the foundation over there, and making sure that Synchronicity and all of the beautiful work that Master Charles created over the many, many, many years, and he's the light there, which is bringing it all forward. That's what we do in India. Every time you turn around, you catch a picture. So don't miss your moment. So next we have Juan Gonzalez, and he's known to us for quite a few years now, and came through us through Bilkis, and he lives down in, he's all over. He's a flight attendant, so he moves around a lot, but he always manages to get his time here, and hopefully we'll be seeing his brother in the next year. Juan Gonzalez. And then we have Julio Oscar Perano, and he is from Buenos Aires in Argentina, and he's known to the Shanti Mandir family, City Yoga family, for many, many, many years. And he also served the Pratibha Foundation over in Argentina with Shivamai, and he currently is looking after the Shanti Mandir Foundation over in Argentina, and his heart is always with Gurudev. I have to say that because I hear a lot about it all the time. And our next participant is Ingrid Angel Beer, and she is one of our locals. She takes all of the classes, all of the courses, comes to all of the satsangs, and makes wonderful flavors of ice cream. We're going to have her autumn flavors in the Sattvic cooking class at the end of October. She supports a lot of the work here in many, many different ways, and is a beautiful presence and always abundant in all aspects. So Ingrid Angel Beer. And I'll call up Robert Hosking, Bob, and Patty Hosking together, husband and wife from Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, Australia, Shoreham, Australia, and Phillips Island. And whenever Gurudev visits the Melbourne, Victoria area, they always are very wonderful hosts, and we stay with them in their home. And and he takes a cold dip every day in cold waters and surfing. And yeah, they have many, many, many skills and talents, which I won't jump into now. Then we have Jayshri Caravan. And she's one of our residents here, and also has been following the Siddha path for many, many, many years. And all of you see her flying around on the golf cart. And it's wonderful having her presence here at the temple each day, twice a day, and doing all of her seva offerings for the ashram. And then we have Gopita Kolsat, who is from the Bay Area, has lived there forever, met Baba in Oakland, and now she is living in Reno, Nevada. our West Coast coordinator, and did many, has offered herself, her husband, and satsangs and seva for all of the West Coast programs, retreats, Kauai, you name it. And now she's getting ready to, I think, start another satsang or some form of satsang. She's excited about that, and we'll be seeing her in Southern California in just a few days. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, so please do correct me right from the beginning. So it's Mirabai Evanson Henge. Evanson Henge. And she lives in Logan, Utah. And she's had a practice of meditation morning and evening for over 40 years. She teaches meditation. She has a scheduled time every day with her children, with her son and her daughter. And usually it's done by, I think, phone or FaceTime, but wherever they are, there's fixed times every day, and they meditate together. So she's here for level 2 for the first time, and we look forward to her presence in the future. And if you ever want to talk about meditation, say hello. And then we have Lucinda Ann Marsh. Lucinda, we see frequently. All the Navaratras, all the retreats, the courses, the workshops, the programs, when Gurudev's in residence and also when Gurudev is not in residence. She's the one who's driving the little white camper out there now. And then we have Eduardo Hoffman. Where's Eduardo? From Mexico. And Lucinda's from Pennsylvania. And all of us were fortunate to hear from Eduardo last weekend on Sunday Satsang, where he spoke. And the highlight of what he said was about being transparent, vulnerable, and here I am. And he shared a beautiful, beautiful talk that day. So Eduardo and his wife will be seeing at Navaratra. And he will also be seeing Gurudev in Southern California. And then we have Alex and Erica from Orlando, Florida. They're known to us for many, many years. And he's from Argentina originally, and she's from Colombia. And they live in Orlando. They were participating for many, many years in Girija Quick Satsang down there in Florida. And they've been coming to the ashram regularly for several years. So we have Alex and Erica. And I do just want to conclude by saying that if there's anyone who thinks about taking the course, not sure about the resources, not sure about the time, the length of time, or any questions that you might have, please do approach me, and we can figure it out. We can come up with something, because there's definitely something that should not be missed by anyone with regards to the course. And also, yesterday we had the intensive, and the intensive basically was the culmination of the course, so it gave everybody an idea as to what was in the course for those 2 weeks. So each of the teachers spoke. So if anybody's still interested to register, today is the last day. The links will be sent out today and tomorrow. And then the links will be sent out to everybody on Tuesday. So if you still want to have a glimpse of what the course was to see if that kind of whets your appetite or creates an appetite for next year, you can register for that either online or you can do so in the gift shop. So with that, I think that completes level 2, understanding the Siddha path. Thanks to all the participants again, to Gurudev and to all of the teachers, and we'll just do a round of applause. And now we'll hear from Gurudev.
We'll get straight to it. Right? Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. With great love and respect, a heartfelt welcome to everyone to Satsang here on this Sunday morning. I think it's the 17th of September, if I'm correct. At least somewhere it is. So, I found a quote. Finding yourself is not really how it works. You are not a $10 bill from last winter's coat pocket. So you are not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditionings, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that have become your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself. And unlearning and excavation are remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. Baba Muktananda often shared that inside the womb of the mother, a child feels the heat of the different organs, the liver, the kidney, the digestion. And in that state, it prays to the Lord, get me out of here. And so while the mother is excited that the baby is going round and round, according to the poet saints, is just fed up of all of the various heats or fires that are inside. So inside the womb, and what is today known as a baby shower, which in the Indian tradition is the tradition known as Simanto Nayan, parting of the hair of the mother-to-be. Baba Muktananda would say that the child is actually initiated into the mantra of Soham. So inside the womb of the mother, the child is initiated, but as it comes out the birth canal, the Maya of the world changes from Soham to Koham. And Koham is the child crying, because now all of a sudden everybody is holding the child. And like we have our conditionings, we place our conditionings upon the child, and the child is no longer that pure being that it was. In the Gita, Arjuna asks a question, Atakena prayuktoyam. Papam charati purushaha. O Krishna, what impels a person, an individual, to commit wrong, to perform what we call sin or wrong action? So Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava. Desire, Kama, Krodha, anger, combined with Rajoguna. This is what makes arise within us whatever it is that we experience in life. So Maharishchandra Puriji Maharaj last night said, you desire an object. You want something. And how long is that desire good for? Till you have it. Once you have it, the longing is done. But then, of course, the scripture says the next longing begins. But that longing, that object coming, has brought along with it krodha because of attachment, anger because of attachment. And so, when Devyani talks about religion of the self that Baba Muktananda talked about, we've all heard it for many years, that I am that divine self. So for the past 2 weeks, in all of the various talks that you heard, classes that you had, the first is to know Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am consciousness, I am bliss. I am consciousness, I am bliss. But then, like Arjuna, we also ask, Atakkena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha. What is it within myself that impels me to be what I call volcanic? I guess you all know volcanoes. If you haven't been to one, I think you should go see one. Because it's very interesting that which happens, and I'll tell you this, whatever happens on the earth outside is also happening within you. So don't think that is simply happening out there. Paula shared yesterday that somebody was scared of the thunder of the lightning. So I ask myself then, why am I scared? What is it within myself that experiences fear when a particular situation occurs outside? In the car yesterday talked about Atmabala, the inner strength, the inner power. We have it. It's there within each one of us. But then, as this person says, it's the unlearning, the excavation, remembering who you were before the world and its conditioning got to you. It's intense, I know. Somebody took a deep sigh. So, right? We all want to do that. That why do I become like this? I'm good. It's all flowing along really well. It's all smooth, seemingly. And then suddenly the volcano erupts. And then there are scientists who go and grab the lava. I don't know what they do with it, but they want to understand something. But the sages say, understand yourself first. Understand who you are. Understand what is going on within yourself. And therefore we have all the yamas and the niyamas and all of that. So how do I get out of my volatile, volcanic situation? So they say in shamanic societies, if you come to a medicine person complaining of being disheartened, dispirited, or depressed, they'll ask you one of 4 questions. You ready? Because you got to answer, okay? When did you stop dancing? You know, when you walk, there's a pep to the step. So when did you stop dancing? Don't think I'm talking about dancing like going to a place and dancing. No. When did the dance in your life stop? When did you stop singing? Or even if it's in the shower. When did you stop being enchanted by stories? Not long drawn out ones. They are boring. To the point stories. Stories that are wonderfully illuminating. when did you stop finding comfort in the sweet territory of silence? So, if any of these questions speak to you, better go see a shaman. And I am not one, so just in case, no, I'm not. So in these 2 weeks, I think if you learned anything, you probably learned one of these things. You learned to dance, you learned to sing, you learned to enjoy the quiet, the stillness. And how many of you liked our dark, early morning yoga classes, especially when the power was gone for 2 days. And it's just amazing, you know. What are we going to do? How are we going to see? What is there to see? You simply have to lift your left leg or your right leg. And if you mistake the left for the right, it's okay. You will hear that they say, lift the other leg. Because in case you pick the wrong leg, you pick the other leg. And you all have mostly 2 legs. So out of the 2, you have to pick one. And so what do you need to see? You just need to hear which leg to pick, or a leg to pick, or a arm or arms to lift and move. But again, the conditioning in our mind that I need to see what is going on. And then the question to really ask, do I see or do I have brain fog? I don't know how many of you know this word. There's a thing called brain fog. It comes from various reasons. And so, we live in that. So we need to get ourselves out of all of this. And that's what, to me, when I think of what is it that satsang does, satsang brings me to come and be established in my own true nature, in who I really am, and not to get lost in all of the drama of the outside world. It's such a waste of time. And at the end, ask yourself, from all of that nonsense, what is going to go with you? Nothing. If anything that's going to go with you, it's definitely not the physical form, because they're going to cremate it here, or bury it here, or feed it to the vultures, or throw it in the ocean. There's a few different things that happen. And know one thing for sure, that as soon as consciousness leaves this form, no matter how much he or she loves you today, I think you got it. Jayashree is laughing. So I hope the others got it too. Huh? They call the funeral home in the United States immediately, because they're like, what do I do with this thing now? It doesn't speak. It doesn't respond. It doesn't react. And the funeral home says, don't worry, we'll come and take it. We'll charge you a bomb, because we're going to bomb the body. They embalm the body. And there's no need to embalm the body, but it's become a business. Sorry for the funeral home people, but when Vivek and Vinay's grandmother died, I said, tell them the body is ready to be cremated. We want to do nothing to it. We don't have a showing, we don't have a viewing, we don't have a wake, we don't have anything, because it's done. So for all who are thinking, when am I going to go? Start celebrating life. If you really believe in the religion of the self, start dancing, start singing, start enjoying the quiet. Start having conversations now. Conclude with the people. Don't wait for the Was it eulogy? Because it will be fake anyway. Because the family will make sure that you only say nice things about that horrible person. And you'll also make sure that they are gone now anyway. And you'll just say, I'm glad they are gone. So might as well now, while we are in the body, Kabir says, what do you think? Ghosts will do it afterwards? Do it while you are alive. It's a beautiful poem. I don't have it with me now. Kabir tells us, don't wait for death. Now is the time. And so, again, when we think, what is this Atman? What is this self? In the second chapter, Arjuna asks Krishna, Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha. What are the qualities of a person with steady wisdom? When we talk about who has attained the self, who is established in the experience of the self, the Gita calls it a person with steady wisdom. A person who has become steady in life. You think of all of these words: equanimity, even-mindedness. And I tell people, read the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, wherein the qualities of the devotee are explained by Krishna. A Swami next to me yesterday was talking to me, and he said, I didn't know what it would be like to meet you, because we were meeting for the first time. I said, Swamiji, I've read the 12th chapter of the Gita well, and I just quoted a verse. I said, Tulya ninda stutiramaunira santushto yena kena chit aniketa stiramatir bhaktiman me priyo nara. And I said all of this that goes on after. And he just smiled. Whether somebody praises you, whether somebody blames you, or somebody compares you to somebody else, you just remain steadfast in yourself. And Krishna says, such a devotee is dear to me. So think, somebody says, oh, you are so sweet. Don't get excited. Because it will just be some days later when they will say, I take back my statement and I change my mind. Because I was actually sweet that day and I thought you were sweet. You are not sweet. I was sweet and I thought you were sweet. You will be totally confused now. Who was sweet? You'll say, Swami, Mrs. Sharma's Mamta, Gulab Jamun is sweet. It's very sweet. Because it's dipped in sugar syrup. And so when you eat that Gulab Jamun, you'll be like, especially if you like sweet Indian desserts. So in that moment, you might say, but then he says, Tulya ninda. Immediately comes blame. Immediately comes censor. I mean, it's like, while they're praising you, we all experience this in life. So to me, when I tell you, watch society, watch people, look around, ultimately, it's to look at yourself and to think to yourself, I want to be in a state of equanimity. Stitiri kim. How does that being maintain himself in that space? And so, I think I've marked that verse. Krishna I mark this book in so many places. If I don't take out my old markings, anyway. This is Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanya devatmana tushta stitaprajnastadochate. Krishna says, when a man completely casts off, O Arjuna, all the desires of the mind and is satisfied in the self, by the self, then he is said to be the one of steady wisdom. Completely casts off all the desires of the mind. So often compare it to peeling onion. You know, you peel an onion, you cry a little bit. You peel an onion, you cry a little bit. People have found ways now, I hear sometimes, so you don't cry. But when you cast off desires, you will cry. Until you come to the understanding that basically what you are doing is becoming free. Why are you becoming free? Is because you will be satisfied in the self by the self. Why are we atakkena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha? Why am I driven right now by Rajaguna? Why am I driven without impulse, without want to do wrong, even when I know it's not correct? Because I'm not in the self. I am in desires. So, okay, the sage says you must have a desire and that only will you live. But then make it desireless desire. That desire that is pure. The desire that benefits. The desire not because you want something. The desire that is sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. May all beings be content. It is not so that I am content, or I am happy, or I am pleased. A sage lives in the experience of the self. In his or her own company, he is established in that experience. And we come along, and we come to the sage, and we instead of thinking, how can I become like you, satisfied in the self, by the self, we tell them, listen, I have some problems. Help me out. And when somebody asks Baba Muktananda, can you read the thoughts of my mind? Baba Muktananda said, why would I want to know the crap that's going on in your mind? When I am established in the self, in the experience of the Atman, when I am swimming in the ocean of bliss, why would I want to know the limitations that you have created? The end of the second chapter says, Apuryamanam achalapradishtam. The ocean, rivers ultimately flow into the ocean. And the ocean is neither rejoiced by the fact that the river has come into it, neither does it expand with glory, neither does it contract that a river has come into me. Think that we have to become like the ocean, welcoming, established in the self, by the self. Ingrid asked a couple of days ago that Larry said, Baba Muktananda said, meditation is like sleep. So what else do we have in Baba Muktananda's teachings or in the teachings that is also like that? That whether you're a Hindu, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're Jewish, whether you're whatever, it's the same. So, you look up Baba Muktananda's Where Are You Going and his chapter Religion of the Self, and he talks about this immediately. He says, really, it is we who have created all of this. And he says, is God Hindu? Or is God Christian? Or is God Jewish? Is God Muslim? Is God Buddhist? Or is he black? Is he white? Is he red? So to whom does God belong? Each one, according to his own belief, calls him Rama, calls him God, calls him Allah. There's all these names. So learn how to cultivate the awareness of universal brotherhood. We should not pursue religions in order to murder one another with distractions. All countries, all languages, all races, all religions belong to him. God exists in all religions, but he did not create them. Because if he had, we would not call him God. We would have to call him a politician. Because he created all these distinctions. So why would God create so many religions and make people fight with one another? It is we who have drawn religious boundaries. So Kabir says, do not hate or hurt anyone. Devani always says hate is a strong word. But this is Kabir. Do not hate or hurt anyone. Make friends with everyone. And this, I say, is difficult. Make friends with everyone. Because there are some people you just can't. Anyway. But we'll try to understand what Kabir says. Make friends with everyone, for your own self exists in every face. See, you have to be honest, because otherwise people come, Om Namah Shivaya, I see the God in you. And you want to slap them and say, I don't. Because you can just see that the truth of the statement that they are making is not being felt or experienced by them. It's just lip service. And when a sage tells you do not hate or hurt anyone, he's actually telling you to go inside your very own being and bring about a shift and a change and a movement. Not simply on the external surface, but to feel from within yourself that this is how I actually feel. And that should be universal, whether you like or do not like the person. Enjoy the sport of love. The earth, the sky, the universe are all the form of the Lord, the abode of joy. God permeates every particle of your being. So this is where we actually have to begin. God permeates every particle of your being. And I think unless I understand this, and at least this is how I speak to myself, that unless I begin to understand that God dwells within you as you, I will never be able to see the God everywhere else, or the divine anywhere else. Because the first place I have to find it is within my own being. And if you look at the scriptures, this is what they remind us. Tattvamasi, tvam tadasi, ayama atma brahma. You are that you are. You are none other than Brahman, the Absolute. So until this, I become established in this. Until my foundation is solid. Somebody wrote Devyani the other day. Is there anything new that's going to be said, or is it the same thing? Well, it's the same thing that's been said for thousands of years, no matter which church or temple or mosque or wherever you go. It's the same strawberry ice cream that Ingrid makes. But because Ingrid makes it, we like it better because we think we know Ingrid. Angel Beer has made it. Now you get that same strawberry ice cream when we go to Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra. And if the person is making in front of you, you think, wow, this is delicious. Now you go to any store, they also sell an ice cream, but we don't know where that ice cream has been made or what factory that has been made. Yesterday we stopped somewhere, and I love, I don't know if I should say it, but anyway, I love chocolate milkshakes. But I love chocolate milkshakes made from chocolate ice cream. But the store, as soon as I said to the lady, my mind immediately said, is it made from chocolate syrup or from chocolate ice cream? And she looked at me and she said, we put a syrup. I said, then I don't want it. Then we said, what else? She said, lemonade. So we said, okay. I know, that's the other drink I like. And we didn't even dawn on me because we just switched so quickly from chocolate milkshake to lemonade to tell her no ice. Because that's one of the biggest drawbacks in the United States, that 95% of the glass is filled with ice and 5% is lemonade. And 3 sips later, we were done. I looked at Prabal and Navinji. I'm like, what happened? Prabal said, too much ice. But this is what we have done to life is my problem. There is no lemonade, there's only ice. I mean, I ask for lemonade. I ask for chocolate milkshake, and they say, no, it's just a flavor. It's just a syrup. And I know most people will say it doesn't make a difference. It makes a difference when you have experienced the real thing in life, and that's my problem in life. I had a good mother. She gave me good things. I met good people around the world, and they gave us good things. And they told us the difference, starting with the Guru, what is real and what is unreal. And so it was good when you live in the illusion. You don't know what is real, you don't know what is unreal, you just love the illusion. You love a glass of ice, and you see people shaking that, 5% lemonade and 95% ice and going, wow, delicious. It is like what Vedanta says, that the dog is chewing the bone, drinking its own blood, thinking it's enjoying the bone, but it's not enjoying the bone, it's enjoying its own blood. Now this is a whole class in itself, and we won't go there. All I want is that all of us who either attend satsang in person or online, come more in person than online, have the guts to get out of your flat, get out of your home, drive a little bit, and come meet these people face to face. Whatever the issues are, let's deal with them. Because you're going to carry them into your next life. Don't think that that problem of this life is going to run away. The problem of this life is going to follow you. And I shared that with the story Baba Muktananda would say, wherever you go, you go. So one man decides that he doesn't like Walden anymore. So he's going to move to a better climate. North Carolina? Okay. So he packs up the truck that Lucinda has with all of his belongings and decides that I'm going to move to North Carolina because there are nicer people there. But there is a car in front. Stops at every gas station, stops at every rest area, stops at, every diner. And so the traveler stops and goes and says, where are you going? It says, I am misfortune. Wherever you go, I go ahead of you to welcome you. Wherever you go, you, whatever you are, that is the you that's going ahead of you to welcome you wherever you go. And so Baba would laugh. Because he said, changing Walden to North Carolina or Tampa or Orlando, thinking Disney World is going to cure all my problems. Until this shifts, until this changes, until, as Krishna says, Kamaesha, Krodaesha, Rajoguna Samatbhava. Desire, anger, conquer these first. Bring about a shift, bring about a change in these habits first. Otherwise, wherever you go. And that you, wherever you were and wherever you will be the same. I know, we don't want to know this, we don't like this, we think, no, that there is better because it's sunnier. I looked it up in the weather app. It said it's 90% sunnier. Wherever that is. So how do we conquer? I remember a long time ago I shared a story. The king has a goat and he puts it out there that can somebody satisfy this goat? And if you satisfy the goat, there's a price, and the price was an X amount of gold coins. So everybody thinks, why not? Give it a shot. So everybody comes, takes the goat, grazes it all day long, bring it back at the end of the day. The king picks up a little bit of grass, gives it to the goat eats the grass. King says, nah. So a month or so goes by, everybody in the kingdom has come, has tried to satiate the goat, to satisfy the goat. One man watches, observes, and thinks to himself that there has to be something that the king is trying to teach here, to tell us. So he comes to the kingdom, he says, I'll take the goat today and I'll bring it back satisfied. So he takes the goat, they go grazing. The man brings along with him a stick. Every time the goat goes to eat, he hits it on the nose. Every time the goat goes to eat, he hits it on the nose. So by the end of the day, the goat has been hit on the nose plenty of times. So when they come back to the king in the evening and the king gives the grass, the goat stands there, not interested at all. Because what has the man taught him? Discipline. What I said yesterday, Atma Sanyama Indriya. The senses under the control of the self. Now you'll say, well, that's wrong. It's animal cruelty to hit it on the nose. Well, how do you fix an idiot? Other than telling him that he's an idiot. Seriously. I know some of you nice people in the audience might think I'm being out there too much. But no, there are people, sometimes you need to correct them. A sage, a guru would say, if you are in ignorance, I have to tell you, you are ignorant. Wake up. Wake up to the knowledge, to the understanding of who you really are. And that's not so easy because, again, we have our desires, our wants, our needs. And so, how do you control yourself? And when you begin to read these scriptures, you begin to realize that I have to tell myself no. I have to remind myself again and again, no. I have to tell myself discipline. So when you think of the yamas, when you think of the niyamas, what are they? Some are external, the yamas. The niyamas are internal. I have to learn in my life the do's and the don'ts. What is it that's beneficial and uplifting to me, that will bring me to the space of the self? And what is it that's not beneficial to me? How will I come to the experience of santosha, contentment? Now, if we look around and we ask ourselves, how many of us would say, I'm content? See, nobody's even raising their hand except Ingrid, Beer, Alex, Angel. Now we'll put you in a situation and then we'll ask you the question. In a situation that you do not like, do not appreciate, do not wish or want to be in, seated next to the stinkiest person on earth, which we do find in the elevator at times. What happens to my santosha in that moment? Because they are going to the exact same floor and the exact same office and the exact same desk where we are going to. I'm just creating a scenario for you to understand when you say, yes, I am in contentment, I am in santosha. But I am in contentment as long as the situation is the way I have created it. When I am in a situation that is not, imagine we all get on a flight, sometime or the other. And sometimes, like I travel alone. And you always pray that you have a good person as your neighbor. And mostly I've been successful, but every so often you get somebody. And you can feel the vibrations, the energy of that person because he or she thinks to themselves, what am I sitting next to? About me, at least. Because I have my beads, I have my all orange matching clothes, eating vegetarian food or water. And especially if it's an Indian, they're even more worried that now what do? I'm seated next to a Swami, so some Indian will sometimes tell me, Swamiji, sorry, huh? Because he wants to have his chicken or his fish. And a Westerner, of course, doesn't know that difference, but an Indian knows that. And I think to myself, what happens if for 8 hours or 6 hours you don't consume? Because I cannot give him the knowledge of the Gita in that moment because he wants to teach me how established are you in the self when I do that which you know I should not be doing. In that moment, you have to talk to yourself and say, Santosha. And that situation is not in your control. It's not in your hand. And that you have to then remember. The Guru and the Self. And what was that Kabir said? Love everyone, right? Something? Huh? Make friends, yeah. You have to make friends with the person who is doing exactly what he knows he should not be doing. And in that, you have to see the Self. You have to enjoy the sport of love. I'll end with another wonderful story that came to mind. This is from Swami Pragninanda Amma, who lived with Baba Muktananda. She was a Sanskrit professor in Mumbai in the 50s. Her family met Bhagwan Nityananda and liked Bhagwan, and in the process met Baba Muktananda. And then Amma, of course, quit her job, lived in the ashram till the end of Baba's life. She was responsible for a lot of the publications from the 60s and 70s. A lot of the 8mm movies as well. Because she came from an affluent family, was educated. And so she shares the story that one day a friend came along with her and had many questions. And so she told the friend, let's go to meet Muktananda. And he'll answer your questions. But somehow they got separated. The friend ended up at Bhagwan. Amma ended up at Baba. And she said, Baba began talking. And as Baba was talking, he was answering all the questions that her friend had. And just as Baba finished, a few moments later, the friend walked in with a big smile on his face. And Amma being Amma, for those of you who know her, remember her, she was like, where were you? Baba gave all the answers. Your questions were answered. He said, Bhagwan answered all my questions. And so as the two of them talked to each other, they realized that in that very moment, while Bhagwan Nityananda answered the questions of her friend, connected to that self or to that consciousness or to that truth, Baba Muktananda here to Amma answered the same questions. So Amma says, I realized the oneness of the self, of the Atman. It was not two different people or two different individuals, Bhagwan Nityananda and Baba Muktananda. There was one consciousness in these two different forms answering the same questions, or giving the same answers to the questions. And I share this story only so that we understand that when we talk about the self, the oneness of the self, the oneness of the Atman, and to come to that place of equanimity, of stillness, of peace within ourselves, and not to be volcanic, not to be volatile, but just to simply remain there. Again, the third sutta of the Yoga Sutras, to be established in your own true essential nature. To stop wandering outside. Stop wasting time outside. Start to revel in, to roam in, and to really enjoy the experience of the Atman and of the Self. So all these satsangs, courses, workshops, retreats, just being in the ashram, the purpose of all of this is to come to that place of truth, of consciousness within our own being. So as Baba Muktananda says, there's only one religion, the religion of the self, the religion of the Atman, the religion of consciousness. Let us begin to recognize that. Let us learn to sing, to dance, to enjoy the quiet moments. So as you go back home, learn to create a practice, a schedule, a commitment to the upliftment of yourself. This is nothing new. This is not something that came about overnight. But this is something that for lifetimes people and sages have done. Who have sat, become quiet, become still. So look at in which way, in what method or what possibility in the first chapter that Navinji sang, Tanme Manaha Shiva sankalpamastu tanme manaha shubha sankalpamastu. O my mind, have auspicious thoughts, have uplifting thoughts. So don't allow the mind to slip from that center of uplifting thought. Don't allow anyone to move you from that space. If anything, bring that person, that individual, the other, to the experience of the self. For those you feel are open, are willing, invite them. Have conversations with them. Share with them whatever you know, whatever you understand. Have quiet moments, silent moments with each other. Make them appreciate the silence and the stillness. Let them also have a taste, a glimpse of that truth, of that divinity, of that consciousness that dwells within them. Time is flying, time is fleeting. Eventually, we will also be cremated or buried or fed to the vultures or to the ocean. So in whatever 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 days, weeks, whatever it is that's left in our life, let's put it to use. Good use. Beneficial. So that when this soul leaves this physical form, there is the experience of santosha, of satisfaction, of contentment, that this life has been well lived. It has been used for the purpose which it was designed. There should not be a moment of grief or grieving that I missed the opportunity to do so. So we thank all of you who have spent these last 2 weeks here in the ashram, all of you who come and go, all of you who think someday of coming, because I want to inspire you to come and rub shoulders with the one you like or don't like, and come to see the face of the beloved, of the self. Firstly, in your own being, in your own reflection in the mirror, and thus eventually in others. The ashram has a daily routine. You can just come along and participate. And in that, so much happens. They say the ripened fruit, the color changes. The ripened fruit, the fragrance changes. The ripened fruit is soft to the touch. In the same way, a person who has understood the self, the color changes, the fragrance changes. Person becomes soft to the touch. So let us all be an inspiration unto ourselves and to others, to be loving, to be kind, to be compassionate. Just like you plan your vacations, plan your ashram vacations. For those of you who live far away, at least plan maybe twice a year to just come, sometimes participate in what's happening as a course, as a retreat, as a workshop, sometimes just to come and see where the light switches are. Close the doors and windows, sweep, mop. Because that in itself is also wonderful yoga. To just be a support to all of those. Just like when I said Jayashree made a conscious choice to spend her time, her sunset years, as they say, in the ashram. Then we have Mark, who's come from Synchronicity, and Mukti, who also chosen to take care of that legacy of Baba Muktananda created by Master Charles Swami Vivekananda. And for as much as I know, they would like that the person on the seat should change. The person on the seat probably wants them to change. It's a mutual feeling. But yet, that relationship continues, and it is such people committed who make all of this a wonderful experience for each and every one of us. People committed to the ashram, to the sanctuary, to the retreat place, foregoing their own personal wants and needs and desires, and just assisting, supporting the system, the logistics, and the people who come and go. A lot goes on. That's why I invite you sometimes just to come spend a week and just observe the offering that is made by all the different people, no matter in what position or place they are in. And to make yourself feel the gratitude. You don't have to go up to them and say, wow, what a wonderful job you are doing. But simply supporting them in whatever way possible. That is also sadhana. That is also spiritual practice. To simply take this, make it go forward, make it go ahead, so that the next generation is aware of these teachings, of these practices. And again, remembering the religion of the self. We may belong to a path, we may belong to a family, we may belong to a group. It's just how it is in life. You're a lion, you're a tiger, you're a sheep, you're a dog. But you are an animal from the animal kingdom. So in the same way, whatever we are born into, whatever we have chosen, that may be the path we tread or walk upon. Stay committed to that path, to that practice. Tread upon that with understanding. I find myself fortunate that I found parents who belonged to a guru, who took us to the Guru. The Guru accepted us, we accepted the Guru. And here almost 61 years later, grateful for the knowledge, the wisdom, the experience, and to know that life has been worth it. And to be able to share the worthiness of life. You cannot change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. An interesting statement. Once again, offering loving gratitude to each and every one for all that you are, that you do, for the role that you play, for whatever it is we are in each other's lives. Loving, kind, compassionate, peaceful. We'll all sing Danya Danya, to sing and dance. Sing Arati Lijo in praise. The Arati is the sun, is the lamp, is the moon. Govind will go make an offering of the lunch that has been made by Prabal. So we'll all have it as prasad, and ultimately Jyota se Jyota. Thank Naveenji also for traveling out of Kankal, Haridwar to come here, be with us and be in New Jersey. Worship Ganesha. And on the 28th, he returns back to Kankal, to his teaching, to his family, to his continuation of the work that he offers.
Danya Danya Pradakshina Sadguru So this concludes our Sunday morning satsang here today. And there's something I was going to say. Hold on one second. It'll come. Give me just a second. Okay, so just want to remind everybody that next weekend, on Sunday morning satsang, Gurudev will not be present. He'll be traveling to California and then returning in time for the following one. So next week, Gurudev is not in residence. However, Sunday morning satsang will be held. Everyone is welcome. When he returns, that is actually October 1st, that next Sunday. So everyone's invited to join us here. And then Gurudev will be present for all of October. And during that month, we have Baba Muktananda's Mahasamadhi. We also have October 15th to the 22nd, we have the Navaratra celebration. We have Ananta Lavarji Shastriji from India who will be joining us here. And along with Prabhu Mishra and Govind Mishra, he will be, Govind Barbaria. They'll be conducting the entire festival here for those days. And then we move into the Sattvic cooking class for 3 days. And then from that, we move into Baba Muktananda's Mahasamadhi celebration intensive on October 28th. So just to kind of paint the picture for the month of October, and then all of the Sunday morning satsangs and Saturday programs as well. So please make sure to join us for all of that. Also, I want to wish everybody safe travels, whether you're going by road or whether you're going by plane. Everybody safe travels, and we look forward to seeing everybody again very soon. And today's lunch prasad will be served right after darshan. And then we also have gulab jamun from Mrs. Sharma. So everybody please make sure to enjoy the gulab jamun that Gurudev was speaking about. And with that, I think we are good. So thank you all for your presence here today. Everybody come up for darshan, followed by lunch prasad, and then Gurudev will be departing for Queens again for the Hindu Center. Also, if anybody knows of anybody in Southern California that you'd like to invite for satsang, there are 2 satsangs there. One is in Irvine, and one is in El Segundo. So one in the Orange County area and one in the LA region. So everybody should have those flyers in your inbox. And also, if anybody wants to register for the intensive from yesterday, you can still do so until tomorrow evening. Thank you all. Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai.